everyone, I'm Chris with Nelson Woodworks. Welcome back to my channel. In part 2 of this build, I'm going to show you how I built and installed these drawers, and we finish off the stand by adding the table saw to the top. If you missed part 1 of the build, go back and watch that video. Let's go ahead and get into it. Measure the front of our drawers. We put in our sliders in place and a piece of 3/4 inch ply on both sides and measure in between. In this case, the drawer front will come out to 24 1/4 inches. Now it's time to start cutting the pieces for our drawer boxes using the 3/4 inch ply on the table saw. We will make our dado cut using the table saw so we can start raising the blade up to 1/4 inch and then setting the table saw fence 1/4 inch away from the bottom of the piece. Start by running each piece through one at a time. We'll be running this through twice on the table saw since we need a 1/4 inch dado groove and a typical saw blade is 1/8 of an inch. We will run it through once, move the table saw fence over just a bit, and run each piece through again to get that 1/4 inch dado groove. It's time to start drilling pocket holes in the front and back pieces of the drawer boxes. Now we can start assembling the drawer boxes. We line up our front, back, and side pieces. We'll be using a pocket hole clamp to help hold the pieces in place while we drill in the pocket screws. Repeat the process on the other 2 drawers, and after that the 3 drawer bodies are assembled minus the drawer bottoms. Now we can start cutting down the drawer bottoms on the table saw using 1/4 inch ply. That will slide directly into the 1/4 inch dado grooves we cut earlier. Once the drawer bottoms are slid into each drawer, we will drill a countersunk hole and drive some screws into place so that way the drawer bottom doesn't go anywhere. Repeat the process on the other 2 drawers, and now the drawer boxes are ready for installation. We start by taking our drawer slide and disassembling the slide itself. To install the drawer slide, we will put a scrap piece of 3/4 inch ply down and sit the drawer slide on top of that so we can screw it into the frame. After insetting the drawer slide about 1/16 of an inch, we use the supplied screws to go ahead and screw the drawer slide into the frame itself. Using scrap 1/4 inch ply, we set it at the bottom of the box to help offset the drawer from the bottom. We can slide the bottom drawer in and slide in the other components of the drawer slides, slowly pulling the drawer forward, revealing each hole of the drawer slide and screwing the drawer slide into the drawer itself. For the last screw of the drawer slide, we need to remove the drawer. So we tilt it onto its side and screw in the remaining screw on both sides of the drawer. To install the next drawer slide, we set a scrap piece of 1/4 inch ply and then 2 scrap pieces of 3/4 inch ply to help lift the drawer slide up, and just as we did on the first drawer, we go ahead and screw it in place, continuing on both sides of the drawer and getting the drawer box screwed in just as we did on the bottom, and rinse and repeat for both remaining drawers, and then now all the drawers are officially installed. It's time for the drawer fronts. We go back to the table saw and cut rough dimension of the drawer fronts themselves using 3/4 inch ply. Can then line up the drawer fronts with each drawer and just do a rough line cut for the drawer fronts. This doesn't need to be precise as it is just a shop project. And we'll go ahead and label the drawers just so we don't get confused. Going back to the table saw and cutting each drawer front down to their final dimensions. To install the drawer fronts, I'm finding the center of each drawer, and since we're going to be installing drawer handles on these later, I'm just drilling a hole through the drawer front into the drawer to install a temporary placeholder screw. And I have a metal ruler that is 1/8 of an inch thick on hand so I can put it into place to get the correct reveal that I want. Now we can open up each drawer and drill a countersink hole and install a screw into place to hold the drawer fronts correctly onto the box. And repeat this process for all 3 drawers. Handles, we're going to be using some scrap 8/4 poplar that I had left over from another project. Our saw blade to 15-degree bevel so we can cut our hand pull profile using the table saw. We will run each piece through twice, running it through on one side, and once it's through on that side, flipping it over and running it through again. 3 handles are cut. We can go ahead and give it a light sanding just to break up any of these sharp edges. We don't want to cut ourselves as we are opening the drawer. For insulation, we back out that pivot screw that we installed earlier and then go ahead and install that into place on all 3 handles. And just for extra measure, we'll add a second screw just so that way the handle isn't on a single pivot point. And once we do that on all 3 drawers, all the handles are installed and now the drawers are finished. Time to install the table saw. We go ahead and get it put in place, make sure it's evenly spaced on all 4 sides. We're going to use a punch down tool to make an indentation on the top of our stand so we know where to drill. We'll go ahead and drill a pilot hole in all 4 corners so we can run our machinist bolt in through the table saw feet. A bolt and a nut, we go ahead and get the screw put in place so that way the table saw doesn't move from its final position. And now we can call this project complete. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and comment down below. I got more projects coming out in the future, so make sure you're subscribed. And before I work on any more projects, I should probably get my shop cleaned up. We'll see you in the next one.